My peoples. Welcome to Box Center. I'm your host, Jay Smith, and we're going to be talking boxing. Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin de los Santos. It looked like that fight isn't happening anymore. It was reported that the fight is off. De los Santos pulled out, and Keyshawn Davis is going to have to get a new opponent for the next fight date. I can't remember when that was. It's now irrelevant to me because he don't got De Los Santos in front of him. But the fight isn't happening, man. We were expecting it. People were already making predictions. I had people telling me, that Keyshawn Davis was gonna win. I had people saying De Los Santos was gonna win, and it was interesting to have that conversation because obviously people felt like Edwin De Los Santos could win that fight. Well, it's not happening anymore. Salute to the first one in the building. Bam. But yeah, it's not happening. And I'm disappointed because that's a fight that I really wanted. But if it's not going to happen, I'll be looking forward to see what's next. What's next for Keyshawn Davis? I'm pretty sure he's still trying to get, a good opponent there with him. Just business. At work. Gotta be quick. Who topics? Keyshawn Davis, Edwin De Los Santos. They not fighting anymore. That's messed up, bro. Apparently De Los Santos pulled out because he felt like they wasn't giving him enough money or something like that. I'm disappointed. Arch30. Support. Sup, my G. What's the deal, my brother? Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. So yeah, Edwin De Los Santos and Keyshawn Davis will not be fighting. Negotiations are off. And apparently Keyshawn Davis is already looking for a different opponent for his next fight. I think a lot of people will be disappointed to hear about that simply because that is a very competitive fight. That would have been obviously Keyshawn Davis's toughest opponent to date. And, a lot of us wanted to see how that was going to play out. There were actually people predicting that De Los Santos was going to win that fight. Feeling confident that De Los Santos could do it. But, unfortunately, we won't find out. Maybe at some point that fight could happen. I would like to see it. But it looks like it won't be now. So there you have it, my peoples. That's one of those things where, it's like building and building and we're expecting and we're like, okay, here we go. And boom. That's why in boxing, man, until them contracts are signed, you just never know, bro. You really don't. Just business. See, I told you last time, they chase cash and not legacy. These boxers are soft these days. I haven't really watched anybody but Canelo and Lomachenko. I mean, there's fighters that just want to fight. That will make the fight, find a way to make it happen. In this case, I guess, De Los Santos wanted more money. Because that's one thing, too. Once you're fighting, the guys that are the best and the guys that are the champions, you want to get paid. Guys want to get paid to fight the best, the top dog. And De Los Santos wanted his money, I guess. He wanted more than what he was being offered. Decided to pull out. I wish he would have chose to fight. I wish that fight was made. Like I said, it would have been a very competitive fight, and now it's not gonna happen. Some people are gonna say De Los Santos ducked. Some people are gonna say, nah, if they didn't pay him right, he don't like what he was being paid. He did what he had to do. Arch30, Keyshawn, tip tapping around, real competition in my opinion. I'm not sure how you're saying that, bro. Keyshawn Davis is calling out Tank Davis. He's literally been calling out Tank Davis saying, yo, let's make the fight. So he ain't tip-topping around nobody, bro. I'm not with you on that. The only fight that is already doesn't even make sense to bring up is him and Shakur because we already know the situation. We already know they both have said that they won't fight each other. So that doesn't need to come up. But anybody else, by the way, Keyshawn Davis also called out Teofimo Lopez. So he's called out publicly Tank and Teofimo. So that's how you know. He's not tip-tapping around nobody. He want all the smoke. Because, look, Keyshawn Davis is one of these fighters who he's actually trying to reach greatness. It's not just about, okay, I won a title, I got a title, that's it. He's not a champion who is just happy to be a champion and that's it. Oh, I got it, that's it. You could clearly he wants a lot more. R30 making a call out that he knows isn't gonna happen. It's not that he knows isn't gonna happen. He's putting it out there. I'm down to fighting you. The moment you holler at me, we're gonna dance. It's letting them know. He's putting it out there because a lot of people want to fight. He's not the only one. He's putting it out there. Yo, what's up? Holla at me, son. So I would say that at this point, the only person that Keyshawn Davis wouldn't fight is Shakur Stevenson for obvious reasons. And then he will fight everybody. Everybody who's willing to fight him. But damn, man, De Los Santos. And I believe De Los Santos wanted to make that fight. And, but he wanted to get paid more money. And I'm only saying that based on the reports. They're reporting that he pulled out for economic reasons. Translation, he wanted more money. Or he wasn't satisfied with the amount of money that was being offered. Just business. I can sort of respect the cash side, but to me, if I can beat him, fuck the cash. I got the belt now. Tax makes issues, then solve the problem later. They not Floyd, stop talking cash. I mean, look, I like that perspective. Like, yo, forget it. Let's just get this win if we know we got it, right? I like that perspective. But at the same time, I understand it because I've heard boxers say this. When you're sitting on the outside looking in, it's easy to say that. But we're not the ones taking punches. We're not going to get a broken nose, broken lips, a possible cut. We're not going to risk our lives. So it's easy for us to sit here in the comfort of our home or our job or wherever. Yeah, he should just take the money. Yeah, we ain't going to get punched in the face, my brother. They are. So that's why I respect when a fighter want to put his value that he feel he's worth. I respect that because they the ones that are going to get in the ring and have to trade leather with people. Us from where we're at, it's real easy. Take the money and fight. But what if that turns out to be your last fight? What if you take a horrible beating that messed you up and you never get to fight again? So if you feel like you want to get paid, especially to fight one of the best, I respect that. That's why look at Frank Martin. When Frank Martin pulled out of the fight with Shakur, it was $1 million that they was offering him. But a lot of people didn't call Frank Martin a duck. They felt like, nah, yo, he felt like he should get paid more for that type of fight to fight Shakur Stevenson. And now Keyshawn Davis is a high-profile fighter. World champion. Defending. So people who have a name, who have made a name for themselves, they're gonna want to get paid to fight him. Sometimes that's the reason why champions end up fighting guys we never heard of. Because the guys that we know, they want a big check for those fights. Just business. No real skills since Floyd. I was in Golden Glove. I caught a case. I went to Tyson as a kid. So to me, fight, I fought for free. And y'all subscribe and hit the like button. Hell yeah, subscribe and hit the like button, my people. Listen, like I said, bro, when you're in there, at that level, it's tough, bro. People want to get paid. And that's not just, that's why I made the example of Frank the Ghost Martin. To show that it's not just De Los Santos who has pulled out of fights. Frank Martin pulled out of a fight with Shakur. Why? For the same reason. He felt like he wasn't being paid enough. R30. What was Keyshawn offering Santos? I don't know. I don't think those numbers are out, to my knowledge. I just know that, what's being reported by multiple platforms is that De Los Santos pulled out for economic reasons. So, if we're talking about economy, obviously, it's about the money. Just business. Break over respect to all the boxing fans in the chat. Uh, hell yeah, my peoples. Um, but that's just my opinion. You know, I felt like to me, I felt like De Los Santos should have took that fight and fought and show whether or not he could beat Keyshawn Davis. And I was looking forward to that fight. We spoke about this fight multiple times. So, like I said though, it's easy for me to sit here in the comfort of my home and say, yeah, he should have took the fight. He should have took the fight. I'm not the one getting punched in the face. So I respect a fighter saying, nah, I'm not gonna take it if I don't get paid this much. JJ Sendejas, good morning, Jay Smith. I'm here. Let's go. Hopefully today is better than yesterday. Too much bitch, man. Let's go, boxing fans. We on some boxing shit, my brother. Yeah. Hans Brad, love from Amsterdam. Ooh, Hans Brad, Amsterdam is in the building. What's good, my brother? So, so again, my peoples, that's what we talking about. Edwin De Los Santos and Keyshawn Davis will not be fighting next. They will not be fighting next. Ramirez, what's up? From NYC. Papá, que lo que? What's the deal, Ramirez? Sabe, una vaina bien aquí activo. So, you know, what do you guys think about that? You know, Keyshawn Davis will no longer be fighting De Los Santos. I know a lot of us were making predictions about that fight, who we thought was going to win. Well, the predictions are irrelevant now if they're not going to fight, right? Who should Keyshawn Davis fight next? That's the magic word. That's the magic question. Who should the businessman fight next? I mean, I'd like to see him fight some opponents that are going to be fighting soon. So to give you an example, I'd like to see him fight Teofimo Lopez. So if Teofimo was to win on May 2nd, I think he could just wait 3 more months, 4 more months and make that fight. But I would like to even see Keyshawn Davis with Ryan Garcia, but I think Ryan Garcia stays at 147. So we ain't going to see that. But, and maybe even Teofimo. But still, man, I would love to see, you know, Keyshawn Davis versus Teofimo Lopez. They got a little personal thing going on. They ran into each other. Shakur said that Keyshawn Davis don't put hands on Teofimo Lopez's pops. I don't know if that's true, but yo, Shakur said it happened. He was there, and I'm gonna go by what he says. So, you know, Teofimo and Keyshawn Davis, they got their little personal thing going on. But I still want to see where this goes. MAW, hello, Boxing Fast J in chat. Subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Appreciate it, MAW. Hell yeah, my peoples. Hit that like button, man. What y'all playing with me for? Ramirez. Because to me, Andy Cruz is ready for Keyshawn. That fight could happen. Now, I tell you what, I love that fight for obvious reasons. But I remember, you know, Keyshawn was asked about that fight. He said, that fight is going to happen, but he got to get his name up a little bit more. Unless he does something like crazy this year, it won't happen this year. So, I don't think that fight is going to happen this year. Maybe, possibly next year we'll get it. Possibly we'll get it. John Parham, salute, my brother. Yeah. Ramirez, mío. But yeah, my peoples, you know, I'm disappointed, man, because I had already told a lot of people that Keyshawn Davis was going to beat Edwin De Los Santos. It was going to be a good fight. It was going to be competitive, but Keyshawn Davis was going to beat him. And I had some people, you know, giving it to me about De Los Santos. I'm disrespecting him. And De Los Santos is mad nice. Watch, he's going to beat Keyshawn. So it was like this back and forth, you know, between a lot of people about who felt that De Los Santos was going to win this fight. And that's it. We won't have the opportunity to find out. We're just going to have to wonder, damn, what would have happened if they fought each other? Ramirez, él es como medio raro, because then you was calling out Tank before you was a champion. Yeah, bro, but at the end of the day, right, the situation with Keyshawn Davis and De Los Santos is like we know we've been talking about it for weeks. Like we already knew the fight was gonna happen. And now this. Oh no, it's about more money. It's about economics. Pero por eso es que yo digo, you can't really just go by the decision. You have to really respect it, because if guys feel like they need to be paid a certain amount, they the ones getting punched in the face. That's my perspective. Ramirez with Andy or Keyshawn. I tell you what, man. I would like to see Tank Davis with Keyshawn Davis. That fight I would like to see. But we already know that, at least for now, Tank Davis is going to apparently do the rematch with Lamar Roach. And I tell you what, by the way, I got Lamar Roach winning that rematch. Bam. How you like that? How do you like them apples? Yeah. I have Lamar Roach beating Tank Davis in the rematch. How do you like them apples? So it looks like they are targeting the rematch for June 21st. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been telling people, I feel like Lamar Roach got Tank Davis's number. Got his number already. He know what to do. He know how to fight Tank, from up close and personal. And I think he's gonna pull up an upset. Lamar Roach is going to upset Tank Davis. Watch. Jean Pelé, who you pick before the first fight? No, come on, I picked Tank Davis just like almost everybody. I mean, Lamar Roach is the guy moving up from the 130 division. So, yeah, he's a champion, but he's moving up to a new division. And Tank Davis is the hardest puncher in that division. So, to me, this was a no-brainer. Tank Davis was going to knock him out. I predicted Tank Davis was going to knock him out by or before the 8th round. That was my prediction. But based on what we saw in that first fight, I feel like Lamar Roach got his number. We're talking about a guy who spent the whole fight walking Tank Davis down. Straight up walking him down. And whenever Tank Davis stood his ground, he traded blows right there, toe-to-toe with him. The whole fight. So, that right there tells me Lamar Roach knows how to fight Tank. Styles make fights. MAW, disappointed Edwin pulled out versus Keyshawn. Would have been fired if no Loma get Andy. Look, man, I would have loved that fight. You've been with us throughout this week. You've seen that we spoke about it. I feel like that was a very interesting matchup. And you see, a lot of people was predicting De Los Santos was going to win that fight. So that shows you how good De Los Santos is. Would have been Keyshawn Davis's best opponent by far. Now we don't get that fight, so I'm disappointed. With Andy Cruz, I don't know if that fight's gonna happen as soon as we would like. I'd like it to happen next. If they could fight next, I would love that. But I don't think so. I think they're gonna wait for Andy Cruz to become a bigger star, and even Keyshawn to become bigger than what he is now, so that they can have that showdown. And they can make it an even bigger storyline about the guys that met in the Olympics. Andy beat him 3 in a row in the amateurs. As a matter of fact, Andy's undefeated against Keyshawn Davis in the amateurs. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 times that they fought each other. So that makes it a bigger storyline when they finally meet up. So I think that, they're going to let that one marinate for a little while. It's not a fight that we're just going to get like that. MAW, Roach found a blueprint for Tank. D. Willer tuned in, OG. What's the deal, my brother? Hell yeah. Lamar Roach, he just, look, to give you an example, I remember when Sugar Shane Mosley was undefeated, beating everybody up, outboxing everybody. And then came Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest was the first person to beat Sugar Shane Mosley. And it's like, I watched that fight live on I think it was on HBO, if I'm not mistaken. And Vernon Forrest put hands on Mosley. Like, he was beating him up the whole fight. So, at the first couple of rounds, I was like, yeah, Mosley just getting ready to do his thing. And he just got his ass whooped. I was like, damn. But Vernon Forrest is a guy who hadn't fought that type of level of competition, who wasn't known like that, and he was the underdog, right? Cool. Mosley gets the immediate rematch. And for the rematch, he's the favorite. Think about that. Even though Forrest beat him up, he was the underdog for the rematch, right? Yo, in the rematch, I was like mostly gonna put the hands on him this time, just because now he not gonna underestimate him and he's gonna know what he's about. Bro, in the rematch, Bernard Forrest gave Mosley a worse beating. A beating. If you haven't watched it, my people, go watch Sugar Shane Mosley versus Bernard Forrest. What a beating. And then look, Forrest, he lost for the first time versus Ricardo Mayorga. Mayorga beat his ass. That's what shows you that styles make fights. Mosley beat the crap out of Mayorga. But Forrest laced him twice, back to back. So sometimes a fighter just has your number. Bernard Forrest has Sugar Shane Mosley's number. If we look at historic wise, nobody's ever gonna rank Bernard Forrest above Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley won more titles, won in more divisions, beat more champions. So Shane Mosley is seen as better than Bernard Forrest, but Bernard whooped his ass twice. JJ's in the house. Rest in peace, Forrest. R.I.P. man. Damn, Bernard Forrest, man. What a fighter. Jen Pele. I'd rather see Roach versus Shakur or Jay Keyshawn. I mean, I don't understand why you would rather see him against those guys as opposed to see a rematch with Tank Davis when it was such a controversial ending. Think about it. It was ruled a draw, a point deduction that never happened, a point deduction that could have had Lamar Roach winning that fight. Tank Davis taking a knee, the grease in the eye, all the drama. Why wouldn't you want to see a rematch? Like, I don't even understand why you wouldn't want to see a rematch. That's crazy. Nah, I want to see him go fight somebody else after he whooped Tank Davis's ass and didn't get the win. MAW, yo, Jay, remember what I said here. Light Heavyweight Undisputed Trilogy likely happen without 4 major belts and might instead only be promote new TKO Boxing League. WBC might know it, so look where we are now. I mean, you know that what you're saying right there is speculation, right? Because we don't know that fight is going to be for the new TKO League. So that still has to come to fruition. As of right now, we know that Bivol holds 3 titles, the IBF, the WBO, and the WBA. So with those 3 titles, is he going to defend them when he fights that trilogy? That's question number 1. Question number 2, when he goes fight for the, if it is for the turkey belt, as you say, for the new TKO League, will he fight for the new TKO League and the other sanctioning bodies sanction that fight? Or is that going to be separate? So there's still a lot of things in play that we don't know, my brother. I want to see how it plays out. Are they going to be fighting for a turkey belt? Who's going to sanction that fight? Is that going to be sanctioned by their own TKO League and not by the sanctioning bodies? Because if that's the case, he won't be defending any of those titles. Let's see how they're going to do it. How are they going to do it? Another thing that I want you to consider. If they have their own TKO League over there and they go fight, and these fights are not sanctioned by the major sanctioning bodies, it's only sanctioned by their TKO League, is that win, that loss, or that draw going to go in their professional record when they're in a whole different league? Think about that. So there's a lot of questions to this league that you haven't even thought of, that we're going to find out when the time is right, that we don't know yet. D. Willer. I got Tank knocking Roach out in the second fight. Roach should say, fuck Tank, because the damage is done already to Tank. Go take the Shakur fight. I mean, I don't understand how you got Tank knocking Roach out in the second one. I don't understand how you got him knock him out. Nothing about the first fight told me that he could knock him out. Nothing about the first fight. Like, it didn't go the distance because Roach was running or being overly defensive or Tank had to chase him around for 12 rounds. It went 12 rounds with Lamar Roach going toe to toe with Tank Davis, brother. And at no point in this fight was Roach ever hurt, wobbled, dropped, nothing. And you're saying a second round knockout? I don't know how you come up with that. Like, it's like, brother, you making that shit up out of thin air. Out of thin air. You're just going to knock him out this time. You don't think he was trying to knock him out the last time? D. Willer, imagine if Tank knocked Roach, everyone going to forget the first fight happened. You're saying imagine, but I'm trying to tell you, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. D. Willer, I just don't think Tank was focused, and now he woke up. That's just an excuse, my brother. By watching TV, you can't tell somebody's level of focus. When you say that, you don't realize that you don't give the credit to Lamar Roach. Like, that's crazy. We're like, nah, I just don't think he was focused. Or he was focused. His opponent made him look bad. Lamar Roach had him out of character. Lamar Roach had him turning away to the referee. Lamar Roach had him taking a knee. So give the flowers to the guy that made him act out of character. He just wasn't focused. That's something you're making up. Like, you're literally making up an excuse for him because you don't know that. MAW, it's speculation. Just a theory I came up with when Turkey shunned belts in Canelo skull pressure. We'll see. IBF was due before WBC. So what's happening there? Step aside happening? I mean, we're going to find out because at the end of the day, we already knew that His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh had problems with the WBC when he didn't want Canelo to wear his WBC belt in the ring ceremony. So we already know that. And by coincidence, what belt did B-Boy just drop? The WBC. D. Willer, you act like it's not possible. That's wild. I'm not saying that it's possible or isn't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're talking about a knockout in the second round. What makes you think that a knockout in the second round is going to come based on 12 rounds of action that you watched? And then you make an excuse for Tank. Oh, I don't think he was focused. You don't see that everything that you're coming up with is just shit that you're making up out of thin air, the way you want to see it. JJ's in the house. Imagine if it was at 150 pounds. Damn. They both be fat. Arch30, funny how Tank and his fan base live and die by the knockout. Yeah, that's it. It's all about the knockout. D. Willer, I'm not even a Tank fan. Not making excuses. We see boxers have a bad night all the time, OG. Okay, then if we see it all the time, then why are you bringing it up for Tank Davis? You're the one bringing up, oh, he wasn't focused. Yo, not being focused and a bad night is not the same thing. That's not the same thing, because not being focused means that you just wasn't thinking right. You wasn't focusing what you're supposed to be doing. Having a bad night could mean that you just faced somebody else better than you and they whooped your ass. Let's not try to mix it up together. D. Will, I didn't say second round. I said second fight. But still, you're confidently saying that it's going to be a knockout, right? So all I'm saying is, what from the first fight says that he's going to knock him out when he never heard him in 12 rounds of action? Come on, bro. That's 36 minutes of boxing each other. 36 minutes. And he didn't hurt him once. And you're talking about he's going to knock him out? I didn't see anything that suggests to me he's going to knock him out. Love more Hinduism. The hair grease, bro. Yo, the hair grease excuse was better than any Wilder excuse when he got stopped by Fury. The heavy suit, the spiked water, none of those beat the hair grease. MAW. Team Roach might have spent a lot of time finding tank tails of habits and plans to exploit those holes. Rematch will show it was just an off night. All right, we'll find out. We'll find out. I didn't see an off night. I saw a Lamar Roach that was great. That's the thing. Every time a fighter doesn't look the way you're used to seeing him, fans feel like, oh, it was just an off night. It was just an off night. Nah, Lamar Roach outboxed him. That's what happened. You're making it an off night because it didn't play out the way you wanted to see it. JJ said that has not been focused at work can get your hand cut off. Sammy Chiva, what's good, fam? What's the deal, my brother? We talking boxing. You know how we do it right here. We talking about the whole situation with Tank Davis and Lamar Roach. About whether or not Tank was focused for the fight, whether or not Roach got lucky, all that good stuff. We already know we're getting the rematch, so we're gonna find out. I say Lamar Roach got his number, and Lamar Roach is gonna win the rematch. And I had someone saying that Tank Davis gonna knock Lamar Roach out. So my whole thing is, hey, look, I didn't see nothing from the first fight that told me that Tank is gonna knock him out. I see a competitive fight once again, and both of them are gonna have good rounds. Both of them are gonna win rounds, and I see a close decision in Roach's favor. I'm telling you, I see a Lamar Roach that I feel like he got Tank's number. That's why I made some examples of fighters in the past that they were undefeated, great fighters, and then came along somebody that had their number and caught him. Bam! Two-pieced him. Jen Pasele, nah. MAW, I saw Roach on point too. Love more Hinduism. Tank need a KO. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say Tank need a KO, but I see Lamar Roach outboxing him. So, in other words, he do need a KO. I see Lamar Roach outboxing him, landing more punches throughout the fight. That's what I see happening. I mean, he landed more punches in the last fight. So, even without the knee, he should have won. But it played out the way that it did. But I feel like in this next fight, we're going to see more of the same. We're going to see Lamar Roach landing more punches, outworking Tank, and winning. It don't have to be unanimous decision. He could win by split decision. One judge will try to rob him. But I see him winning the rematch. D. Willer, you make it seem like I'm just on some fan shit and I don't even fuck with Tank like that. No. All I'm saying, listen, you tell me where I'm wrong. All I'm saying is that first fight went the distance. Lamar Roach walked Tank down for 12 rounds, and he went face to face with him for 12 rounds. He never ran. You never saw his back up against the corner, going in a shell, nothing like that. This man fought Tank for 12 rounds, going toe-to-toe and walking him down. So if he never got hurt once, what's going to suggest to me that this time around, no, he's going to get knocked out? I don't see it. I don't see it at all, my brother. About Charlo, same situation. D. Willer. Charlo got outboxed by Tony Harrison. Got his ass whooped. Then in the rematch, what happened? Charlo woke up. Yo, Charlo didn't wake up. See, this is what y'all don't understand, my brother. You don't have to have an off night to get beat. You don't have to have an off night. You simply have to have an opponent in front of you that outboxed you. So now, for that next fight, you made the necessary adjustments and you won. But losing, my brother, doesn't mean that you wasn't focused or that you wasn't aware. It just means that you got beat that night by somebody that fought better than you, my brother. So you're trying to attribute Tank's performance to him not being focused, as opposed to saying, nah, this guy just fought great. When Charlo lost to Harrison, he got beat. He fought somebody who fought better than him. You don't have to try to get into their emotional state and make your guess. Like, oh, well, he wasn't focused because I think that what happened. Nah. It's not even about that, my brother. He got beat. That's what we know for sure. He got outboxed. So, at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with not being focused. No. It's not that you wasn't focused. It's that that person in front of you may have messed up your focus. That opponent. D Willer. And that's all I'm saying. I think Tank gonna do. He gonna make the correct adjustments. All right. But you think Lamar Roach is not gonna make adjustments too? Lamar Roach is gonna make his adjustments. And let me tell you something. Because if we really just look at the fight as a whole, it was a competitive fight. That's why it's like, wait a minute, Tank wasn't focused. It was a competitive ass fight. It was a very good fight throughout. So yes, Tank was very focused. He just had an opponent in front of him that did more. And that did the unexpected. Who the hell was gonna think Lamar Roach was gonna go toe to toe with Tank Davis and trade leather and counterpunch his counterpunches? Well, I don't even think we've seen that before, bro. Think about it. Have we seen a fighter, you know, when Tank Davis set you up and boom, he comes with that counter left? He caught Ryan Garcia with it. He caught Frank the Ghost Martin. He knocked out Leo Santa Cruz with that counter punch that you don't see it coming. Yo, you know how many times throughout this fight with Lamar Roach, I saw Lamar Roach counter, block Tank Davis's counter, and counter him with a shot to the face. Lamar Roach was countering Tank Davis's counter. That shit was crazy. Bichi Soberio, saludos, bro. Hey, ¿qué es lo que hermanito mío? LOYY, bro. I didn't get the notification again. I just checked your channel and found that you were streaming. There you go. We on it, my people. We on it. So, you know, I just asked myself why. Why does it play out this way? Why is the point? Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me how this fight is going to play out. Why would I think that it's going to be a knockout when the first fight didn't show me that it's going to end like that? Arch 30. So many questions Tanks need to answer. This the reason the rematch must happen. That's what I've been telling everyone, my brother. That's what I've been telling everyone. I seen Tank Davis fans talk about, he don't need the rematch. Lamar Roach should go fight Shakur. Like, what? What do you mean he should go fight Shakur? We just saw this fight. We saw how this fight played out. Why would you want Lamar Roach to go fight somebody else? When we watch how this fight played out, the controversial ending. Come on now. Dry turkey, is Santos ducking? Well, it depends how you want to see it. Some people are going to say he's ducking. Some people are going to say he's not. He says that apparently this was being reported. I didn't hear him say it. But it's being reported that he pulled out of the fight for economic reasons. Which we know what economic means. They didn't, he wanted more money than what they was paying. MAW, rewatch fight and see Roach throws when Tank is not set and hands up, but gets ready to show up when Tank hands come down. When down, Tank is looking for counter, so Roach is aware. Great return counters. Yo, Lamar Roach, his counter punches was crazy. Crazy. Throughout the fight. Dry Turkey said, hi, what's the deal, Dry Turkey? But yeah, I think De Los Santos wanted more money based on the reports. And I honestly don't see it as ducking. When a fighter want more money, I respect that. It's easy for us to say, oh, he should have took it. But we're not the ones getting punched in the face, my peoples. We're not the ones that could get knocked out. We're not the ones that could end up in the hospital. We're not the ones that are going to get a broken nose, broken lips, possible cut. So when a fighter said, I want more money of that caliber, Edwin De Los Santos, I'm going to respect that. I don't see it as a duck, to be honest. I'm like, he want to get paid more money, and they didn't come to an agreement. It couldn't work out. It's just like Frank Martin. If y'all remember Frank Martin and Shakur, that fight was almost going to happen. We're talking about they offered Frank Martin $1 million, which I think would have been a career payday at that time. And he didn't take it because he wanted more money. And the fight didn't happen. I think most of us didn't look at Frank Martin and say, oh, he a duck. The Tavern, what's the deal, my G? Bam. Stanioni misses flight for pressure. I didn't even know that. Oh, that's crazy work. That's crazy. I guess I don't know. The pressure's gonna be late or something like that. LLYY, what we got for this episode, man? We talking about everything. We talking about Boost, Stanionis, Keyshawn Davis no longer fighting De Los Santos, and Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach rematch. Dry Turkey, what do you think? I mean, if you're talking about the Stanionis situation, I think that the pressure's just gonna be late, I guess. Oh, you said Bebo's ducking. I mean, he's dropping a title. He's dropping a belt, my brother. You hear me, Dry Turkey? He's dropping a belt and avoiding one of the best in the game. He's ducking. I don't care about the rest. Hello, YY. I wish that Bebo didn't duck David. Bebo is my favorite boxer, right? And a warrior. But he's ducked to me now. Duck sauce. Yo, Bebo's a great fighter. You know, he got his resume for a reason. But he ducked the Mexican monster. That's it. That's it. That's the reality, my peoples. Deal with it. Jen Lee, De Los Santos not a duck. It's business. But De Los Santos, there wasn't, you know, he didn't vacate a belt. He was being made an offer, and he didn't take it. But he didn't vacate nothing. When you vacate your title to not fight the best, duck. MAWDT, everyone, salute. Dry Turkey, Shakur. I keep hearing wants more money than the 5 mil he got for Padley. I mean, I don't know where you keep hearing that from. I haven't heard it. You tell me where you heard it from. You tell me where you heard it from, my brother. And the thing is that Padley, what we did hear is that His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh offered him an amount, and now that, you know, this guy Zepeda won his fight with Farmer, now he's offering Shakur less money. Come on now, let's do real business. Let's do real business, my peoples. They trying to play him, and he not having it. D. Willer, why did Keyshawn fight not happen? Apparently, De Los Santos want more money. Cito, De Los Santos needs a tune-up fight before that fight. To be honest, if Cambosa stays at 135, that'll be a great fight. Cambosa versus De Los Santos. Nah, yo, Cambosa's already getting a title shot with Richardson Hitchens. So Cambosa is going to get one last shot. I believe this is his last shot to win the title. Terrence Crawford, Bebo, Doug Benavidez, and me. Bebo, nah, come on. Bebo did not duck Terrence Crawford. That fight was never going to happen. MAW, LLYY, see if Bebo wins and circles back for Benavidez later. I don't know, my brother. Honestly, if he avoided Benavidez as a mandatory, I don't think he's going to fight him just for the sake of it. Like, now you don't have to fight him, you know, voluntarily. I don't think he's going to fight Benavidez. Honestly. I don't see it. Dry Turkey, respectfully, Jeff, are you on the Buck Crawford Shakur payroll? Respect. Nah, don't worry. I don't take that personally, my brother. By the way, this is Box Center. We be trash talking up in here all day long. Nah, to be honest, Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter. I've been following him for a real long time. Before he was famous, before a lot of people knew him like that, I've been following him. And I saw how special he was even back then. And Shakur Stevenson, since he was an amateur, I've been following him as well. And my projection is that he's one of the best out. So those are two fighters that I definitely got love for. Superman, salute Jay Smith. These guys got too many excuses. Bro, a lot of excuses. A lot of excuses, bro. I don't understand why. I don't understand and make the fight happen. Let's be about that smoke. I mean, by the way, as soon as we talk about Tank Davis, people don't talk about the people he don't fight. Like, we don't know he been ducking Shakur for like 3 years already at this point. D. Willow, 20 people in the live and only 8 likes. Come on now. Pedro Mota, hi. What's up, Pedro Mota? Yeah, my peoples, hit that like button. Come on, man. Why y'all gotta do me like this? Like I'm a C-level fighter out here getting lumped up. Jen Pele, Tank ducked no one. What you mean he ducked no one? He been ducking Shakur. Shakur been calling him out, been telling him, yo, send the contract. He said Shakur was on the list. Yet, after he said Shakur was on the list, I'll remind you that Lomachenko pulled out of a fight with Tank, and Shakur was like, I'm ready, let's go, send the contract. He didn't ask for an amount of money, so they don't try to play that narrative that Shakur outpriced him. So he said, send the contract, whatever it is, I'm going to sign it. And guess what? They never sent the contract. Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, neither had an opponent lined up. They could have been fighting. Nope. Instead, Lamont Roach became a cherry pick gone wrong. Cherry pick gone wrong. Look at that. MAW. Love or hate Kambosos. He chases the biggest fights he can get. Despite the else he takes, the dude getting paid. Yeah. Kambosos, he getting paid, and also he's a warrior. He's a warrior. I tell you what, I don't think Kambosos can beat the champions, but he's the type of fighter that if the champion is not having a good night and he's having his best night, he could beat them. That's what happened versus Teofimo. He caught him slipping. LLYY. If Artur Beterbiev versus David happened, it's an amazing fight as well. I'd like to see it. I mean, I'd like to see Benavidez fight the winner, but since these people are so loyal to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, I don't know if he's going to fight one of them. Honestly, I don't know. JJ's in the house. J. Smith, tell everyone you have to leave early today to cash that check. Take that to the bank to get some pounds. LLYY. What you like about Shakur? I like his style of boxing. Everything that he does in the ring, whether it's the footwork, whether it's the hand speed, whether it's the combination punching, punch placement, accuracy, body punching. I pretty much like everything that Shakur does in the ring. Deal with a Tank Duck, all the top guys. You know it. We know it. We all know it. Dry turkey. Kambosos still eating good off of that tail win in 2025. Yo, that put him on the map, and it opened a lot of doors for him. You know how much money he made off of those 2 fights with Devin Haney? Back-to-back fights with the Dream? Pulled in some nice checks. Boop, boop, back-to-back. And he's had a couple of fights after. So, and now he's going to get a title shot. So Kambosos is doing good. Money-wise, he's doing good. LLYY. So Tank and Bivol is Duck now. They got to make Duck belt for this too. I mean, listen, the one thing I got to say when it comes to Edwin de los Santos, that's why, let me point out, every time a fighter pulls out, the situation is not the same. And I'm going to give you an example. Bivol pulling out from Benavidez, to me, that's a duck. You know why? Because Bivol is going to vacate a title to avoid fighting Benavidez. That's a duck. But De Los Santos is different because Shakur's the champion. Shakur's offering him a title shot. He wants to get paid, and they're like, we're not going to pay you that much. So he's like, nah, then I'm not taking that fight. So that's different. He's not losing anything. He's not fighting because he feels like he's not being paid enough. It's not the same as you saying, I don't want to fight. I prefer to drop my belt. That's a duck. That's the difference. That's how I put it together. So I don't see De Los Santos. You know, somebody asked me, why you don't see De Los Santos as a duck? Because he's not dropping a title to avoid somebody. He's not trying to avoid anybody. He's just trying to get paid. There's a difference between avoiding somebody and trying to get paid. How I see it. Dry turkey. Shakur's soft, delicate hands need Osterin and snack. Oh, you like conspiracies. You're into conspiracies. That you see, that those are Shakur hater symptoms. You come up with conspiracies. Make stuff up out of thin air. LOYY. What 3 fight J. Smith wants to happen this year? I mean, I would say Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. And Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez. That'll round it off nicely. JJ's in there. Has Cambosos training with Emiliano Vargas again? Oh, that's that's a good. He's good for Emiliano's development. He's real good. And Emiliano, that kid, man, he can fight. He can fight, and you can see that he's gonna be about that smoke when the time is right. Jay Smith, what do you consider a warrior in boxing? To me, a warrior is a fighter who pushes on no matter what. And I would say one good way to describe a warrior is a guy who took a loss. You find out when a fighter take a loss, you find out a lot about him, how he bounced back, and that also describes a warrior. So there's a lot of different things that a fighter can do to show that he's a warrior. Number one, get beat and come back to being a champion again, like Anthony Joshua did. That's what a warrior does. You come back and you make it all the way to the top again. So I see a warrior when they do that. If you get knocked down in a fight and still walk out of there with a W, that you're a warrior. Because it's easy to get knocked down and just not get back up. Or get knocked down and lose your confidence. And now you get beat up after that. So if you get knocked down, you get back up and still win, you're a warrior. If you're involved in a slugfest and you're winning, but you could get a boxer in front of you and box him, you're a warrior. You can adapt to whatever. So there's a lot of definitions that you can put into that. What about Canelo dropping IBF? Was he ducking Skull? I mean, that's why I say it's case by case. Who's gonna believe that he was ducking Skull? But you never know. We don't know. Skull's a real big dude. Maybe he didn't want that action. We don't know, but he's gonna fight Skull next. So does it make sense that he was ducking Skull, but he's not gonna fight him next? So I don't think he was ducking him. I just think Skull didn't have a big name. He was like, man, that's how I see it. The Tavern, Usyk vacated to fight the Fury fight. No ducks there. And that's why I say that it's all case by case. It's all case by case. Usyk did not have the best fighter out there breathing up his neck when he vacated that. That's what Bivol did. Bivol had the best guy out there, the guy called the Mexican Monster, breathing down his neck when he vacated. That's different, bro. Jen Paley. Ellis said Shakur didn't accept the offer and went and signed with a different promoter. Didn't accept what offer? Look what you're saying, Jim Pele. Ellis says Shakur didn't accept the offer. What offer are you talking about? And the fact that you said Ellis, I think that you're talking about this YouTuber guy that is clearly be sucking Tank Davis's kizak every time he opened his mouth. And you're going by what that guy said. Come on now. Dry Turkey. I want to see Opetaya versus Surdo unification. I like that fight. I became a Jai Opetaya fan after watching his last fight. MAW, Naoya versus Junto, more likely. That would be biggest fight in Japan history. That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. But I like Naoya Inoue versus Bam. I know he has to move up, but I really like that fight. And I think eventually, I'm not sure how soon, but I think we will get Bam Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue. That's going to be huge. That's going to be a huge fight. JJ's in there. He's fighting May 4. Emiliano is. I'm looking forward to that, man. I like Emiliano Vargas. I like his brand of boxing. And I think he's going to make it an exciting fight. Simple as that. He's going to make it a very exciting fight to watch. D. Wheeler. I think all fighters need a loss just to stop all the business talk BS. Once that happens, that's when the fighters start to fight everybody. I mean, not all fighters. There's fighters out there who they're ready to fight anybody right now. Shakur don't need a loss. He just need people to grow some balls and want to fight him. That's it. Stop being scared of taking that L. Dry Turkey. How do we watch your fight, Jeff? Are you talking about my fight? Because my fight is up, by the way. I don't know who you're talking to. How do we watch your fight? It's not Jeff, it's Jay, just in case you're talking to me. But my fight is up. I posted the video. If you go to my videos, it was posted recently, so you find it's like the second video down. Jen Paley, Canelo Skull is gonna be a good fight. I agree with you, my brother. Skull is a very big dude. He's tall, and I think he's gonna make it interesting. I think he got that Cuban style. He's gonna have that footwork going. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Tavern, facts. Case by case, facts. That's what I'm talking about. It's case by case. Some people, you understand why they're not taking that fight. And it's not about them being scared. It's about money. They trying to get paid. It's not the same when you got the bad boy breathing down your throat. The Mexican monster like, yeah, what's up? Oh, nah, I'm going to drop this title and I'm not going to fight you. That's a different ball game right there. Whole different ball game. MAW. Only time I'd call a duck is if someone is fighting a lesser opponent for less money. That's just me. But it's all the risk versus reward anyway. I mean, Devin Haney ducked Devin Haney ducked Shakur Stevenson. And I'm going to tell you why that's a duck. We all know that he offered Shakur Stevenson 25%. Right? That fight was going to go to purse bid. And guess what? In a purse bid, champions get between 75 and 85%. Which means if he would have went to purse bid, Shakur was going to get that 25% or maybe less. Maybe less. He may have actually made more money with the purse bid. Yet, a few days before the purse bid, he pulled out of the fight. Dropped the titles and left to a whole other division. That's a duck. That is a duck, my brother. Come on now. Come on now. That's a blatant duck. That's why everybody tells the story up until the point where Shakur didn't take the offer. But they don't say what went on after. Shakur didn't drop out of negotiations. They were still negotiating. Shakur said, okay, I don't like that offer. We're going to purse bid. They still negotiating. But guess what? Before the purse bid, Devin Haney said, no, I'm leaving the division. I'm out of here. Peace. I'm going to 140. Duck. That's a duck move. If he won, if he won, don't forget to say that. If I'm saying, when you say if he won, because I'm talking about Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. I mean Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. And that fight did not happen because Devin Haney didn't want it to happen. That was a duck. There's no getting around that, my people. I promise you. And even Bill Haney was caught on video, talking about how they didn't really want that fight. They didn't want it. So think about this. Bill Haney is on video saying he don't want Devin to fight Shakur. And Coach Cal is also on video saying that he don't want Tank to fight Shakur. Shakur's the boogeyman, my peoples. That's as real as it gets. MAW. How the heck is it paid to think he can milk 45% as a man, though? Shaking my head. That's why now, guess what? They're going to go to purse bid, and at the purse bid, they're going to give him like 20%. At most, he'll get 25%. Google that shit, my peoples. In the purse bid, generally they give the champion between 75 and 85%. So Zepeda's going to get at most 25%. Watch. Simple as that. But I will just go and put it on His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's the one that made an offer to Shakur, say, hey, I'm going to pay you this much. And now try to make, Shakur said not his exact words, but more along the lines of, he's offering me way less money than he originally said. Okay, we can't come to an agreement. Let's go to purse bid. Let's see how much you get in the purse bid. So now, watch this. Watch so y'all can see how much hate Shakur gets. They could go to purse bid. De Los Santos decide that he don't want to fight because of the percentage that he got at the purse bid. And now people are gonna try to say that Shakur ducked. How you take a guy to purse bid? You're the one that's gonna give him a title shot. He don't want to take the offer, but you duck. So I want y'all to understand that's what would have happened with Shakur and Devin Haney. That's why Devin Haney did not go to purse bid. He knew I'm gonna be the one not to accept the fight. People gonna know that I drop out. Instead, let me make this 25% offer and get the hell out of the division. And Shakur haters are gonna say that he's the one that ducked me because he should have took the offer. And that's exactly what happened. Yo, Bill Haney and Devin Haney played mental gymnastics on y'all and really had y'all believing that they was trying to make that fight. JJ Sendejas, Jay Smith, now y'all the monster is the main card for the May 4th. I'm figuring out if I can make it. Are you trying to go to that fight card? I'm going to be doing that fight live. I'm going to be going live right here on the channel. And I'm going to call it the way I call it. Punch by punch reaction, my brother. D. Willow. When you say the champion gets 75-85, do you mean whoever wins or whoever is the champ when the purse bid is happening? No. Let me explain to you. That's a great question, my brother. The champion is going to get 75% of the purse. So in other words, that's win, lose, or draw. That's irrelevant because for fights, you have a contract of how much money you're going to make. So to give you an example, if the champion is going to get 75%, that means whatever the purse is, whatever the revenue, if it's on pay-per-view, the champ is going to get 75%. That's what they do in the purse bid. So the whole point of the purse bid is that a fight was mandated. Me and you were supposed to fight. I'm defending your title. I'm defending my title. You're getting a title shot. We couldn't come into an agreement on the money, so we go to purse bid. So at the purse bid, they're going to award the champion 75 to 85% of the purse. He's going to get the bigger piece of the pie. Ain't no 60-40, no 70-30, nope. 75-25, 80-20 in favor of the champion. That's how the purse bid works. So now that you understand that, Devin Haney would have got 75 to 85% if he would have went to purse bid with Shakur. That means that he would have got the same or more money than what he was offering Shakur because he offered 25%. He offered 25%. 25% is the most that you could get in the purse bid as a challenger. That's the most. Shakur could have got 20. So instead of Devin Haney waiting for the purse bid to see how much money they was going to get, bro, he pulled out like 3 days before the purse bid and said, nah, I'm not fighting. I'm going to drop the titles and I'm going to go to 140. It was like 3 days to go to him finding out how much they was going to give him. But I'm telling you, you know why he did that? Because he understood if we made it all the way to purse bid and Shakur accepted the purse and I drop out, then everybody's going to know that I'm ducking because Shakur is going to accept a 25% at the purse bid. I'm still getting the same 75%. Why would I not take it? So Devin Haney and Bill, they didn't want that fight in the first place. That offer was made to look like they wasn't ducking. They never wanted that fight, bro. Simple as that. JJ Sendejas, fights are going to be at T-Mobile Center in Vegas. Ooh, that's fire, bro. That's fire. Damn. I wish I could be there. I wish. But if you could make it, go. And matter of fact, go record some video and then we'll exchange numbers so you could send me that shit. So I could post live videos from, not live, but I could post videos from the venue. Lisa G, what if nobody bids at purse bid? That has never happened. That has never happened. They could get a low bid, but that has never happened. But you have to keep in mind, it goes by the type of fighter that you have, by the names of the fighters that are going to purse bid. A lot of people are going to want that fight. So they're going to bid. Sometimes, I forgot what fight was it that the bid was real low. I know it was Boo Boo. That was in a purse bid. Oh, yeah, Boo Boo versus Johnny Beck. Boo Boo versus Johnny Beck. That went to purse bid. And the amount of money that was offered, he pulled out. He was like, nah, I'm not going to fight for that amount of money. MAW, smash that like button, folks. Hell yeah, my people. I'm at 18 likes, man. Let's get me to 20 likes. D Willer, I guess we will never see eye to eye on that situation. I just think if Shakur thought he was going to watch Dev, why not just take the fight? Because from what you just said, 25% is the most he was going to get anyways. The point is that when he went to purse bid, that's when the negotiations ended. So who's really ducking? You see, that's the thing. You're putting yourself in a position where you're saying what another man should have did. You see, you're going by emotions because you're going by your personal opinion of how you feel Shakur should have acted. But we got to see the facts. What are the facts? He said, I don't like that. He's the professional, my brother. He's the one fighting, not me and you. He said, I don't like that offer. Let's go to purse bid. And Devin Haney pulled out of the purse bid. So the question is, who ducked? Whether you like or not what Shakur did, Devin Haney ducked. So we don't have to look eye to eye on the opinion on what you think Shakur should have did because it's an opinion. But we have to look eye to eye into who ducked. It was Devin Haney, my brother. So we can't play mental gymnastics like, well, he should have. Because look what you're doing. You're speculating based on your opinion that, oh, he should have took the fight. He should have took it if he knows. But you're just saying what you think a professional fighter would have done. I'm telling you what actually happened. That fighter decided to go to purse bid. And Devin Haney pulled out of the fight and left the whole division. Who ducked? Who ducked, my guy? No, but D. Willer, you don't have to let it go. I'm just asking you a question. If Devin Haney is the one that dropped the titles and left the division 3 days before the purse bid, who do you think ducked? Do you think Shakur ducked? That's all I'm saying, my brother. Do you think Shakur's the one that ducked because you don't like the decision that he made? Because I understand that you don't like it. I understand what you're saying. Oh, well, he should have took the fight. Okay. But who ducked? That's the magic question, my brother. The Soto hybrid, Shakur cooks Devin. Of course Shakur cooks Devin. That's the reason Devin was undisputed this whole time. And he was asked, you paying sanctioning fees for 4 belts. Why don't you drop them? And he was like, nah, I'm not dropping my belts. I'm staying undisputed. My man stayed undisputed until Shakur enforces mandatory. Shakur literally debowed him out of his belt. Think about that. Debowed his shit from him. D. Willer. So I go to purse bid anyway. It's something I'm not understanding. Okay, but why do you need to understand it, my brother? That's why I asked you. You're not a boxer. You don't make those type of decisions. Why do you need to understand the business decision of a fighter when you're not a fighter? That's why I don't understand. You see, you don't understand that? I don't understand why you're trying to get into the business. Because you're asking business questions when neither me or you are involved in that business. Neither you or I know what the contracts look like. But yeah, you're questioning the business moves. Come on. You're acting like a fanager. You want to be a fanager? I'm not a fanager, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're a fanager, bro. You're like, oh, I need to understand why he didn't know. We don't need to understand. We need to understand that he went to purse bid and Devin dropped the titles. We understand what actually happened. So when I ask who ducked, it's all crickets. You want the story to finish at the part where Shakur didn't take the 25%. The story finishes right there. It's over. Let's not talk about the rest, everything that happened, and why negotiations stopped. Negotiations stopped because Devin Haney pulled out of the purse bid, dropped the title, and left the division. Who ducked? You got to finish up the story. Matej. Yo, what's up, man? What's up, Matej? We talking boxing, my brother. We talking boxing. Shakur Stevenson, is he the boogeyman? Is he one of the boxers that's the most ducked in the sport of boxing? But we also talking about Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos. We thought that fight was going to happen. It's not. Disappointing. Raw Dog. Bill Cherry Pick Regis, who got a gift decision versus Sorilla. I mean, I got to say, look, I feel like Regis Progress, he was tailor made for Devin Haney, but I still like that win. That's a good win for his resume. Now you have a multi-division champion in your resume, or a two-time champion. I don't think he's multi-division. I think he's a two-time champion. So that Regis Progress is a good name to have in your resume. That's a good fight, but they know why they didn't fight Shakur. They know. They know what's good with that. Bill Haney was on video saying, "Now we don't want to fight. Shakur used to be beating us up. We know." They know what's up. So if that fight would have happened, Shakur would have whooped that ass. Underrated Will. Yo, what's up, my people? And Jay Smith. What's the deal, my brother? What do you think about Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos? They not fighting anymore. It's over. It's over. My peoples, get me to 20 likes, my people. 19, man, just one more. Somebody got to be able to say, fuck it, let me give this nigga a like, man. Boop. Hit it. But yeah, man, I'm mad disappointed when it comes to Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos, because that's a fight. We've been talking about it for weeks. I've been making my predictions. Cooking with Caesar. Ooh, appreciate it, my brother. Appreciate you. We've been talking about Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos for the last few weeks, and making our own predictions. A lot of people felt like Keyshawn was going to win that fight, myself included. Then there's also the people who was like, nah, De Los Santos is going to win this, and we're not going to find out. That's it. We're not going to find out. I hope that Keyshawn Davis is able to get a real good opponent for his next fight, because you don't want him to have to downgrade from De Los Santos and get somebody that we're like, oh my God, he's going to fight this guy. I want it to be a name that, we're happy with. Underrated Will. Keyshawn scared of Edwin and try lowball. He knows Edwin a threat. I mean, I don't want to say that he tried to lowball him. That's business. That's the way business works. D. Willa, Fanager is crazy. I don't know these guys personally. I'm just trying to understand you, OG. Just a combo. They've been playing me, so Fanagers, I just want to see the best fight the best. Okay, so look, I want to see the best fight the best. But what is the point of questioning why Shakur decided not to take the 25% and go to purse bid? Like, what is the point of that? Think about this. You're asking me that question. How would I know that, my brother? I'm not involved in business with them. I didn't see the contracts. I don't know anything. So you're questioning me. It's two fans of boxing talking, and you're asking me, so why did Shakur then not take the offer if he thought he could win? How could I exactly tell you why did he choose not to take the offer? I have no answer for that. So it's like you're arguing like almost from a manager perspective, like we're the two managers of the two fighters, and you're questioning me on why Shakur didn't take the offer when neither one, you or I, know why he did not take the offer. So that's my point. That's why I say manager, because look, the arguments about who's making more money, who's putting more butts in seats, who should get paid more, those are manager arguments. Because as fans, that's what we're supposed to want the most, the best to fight the best. Let's get the best fights. So how we would have got the best fight right there in that fight, if they would have went to purse bid and they would have split whatever the purse bid was and fought. So you're targeting Shakur not taking the 25% offer, as opposed to focusing on the whole story, which leads to Devin Haney dropping out and not going to purse bid. So you see, you're questioning Shakur. Think about it. You're questioning Shakur why he didn't sign it. He didn't sign it because he didn't have to sign it. He didn't have to sign it. He had purse bid as an option. Now, since you question Shakur as to why he didn't sign it, how come you don't question Devin as to why he vacated right before the purse bid? Tell me that, D. Willer. Why would you question Shakur on not signing it, but not question Devin Haney on dropping out of the negotiations, dropping the title right before the purse bid? Why would you not question that, my brother? D. Willer, to me, you sound like a super fan on Shakur Honesty. I'm on this side and you're on that side. I mean, look, you sound like a Devin Haney super fan and a Shakur Stevenson hater. Because, look, you're questioning his business decision. What have I said? Tell me one thing, D. Willer. Just one thing that I've said that sounds like it's from a super fan. I just state the facts. I state the facts while you make up and spread your own narrative about, nah, he should have took the offer if he thinks he should have. What do you mean he should have took the offer? What's that manager stuff about? He should have took the offer. You're not a manager. You're not a manager. You're not involved in boxing business negotiations. So who are you to say that he should have took the offer? So I'm not a super fan. You're a super hater. You're a super hater, my brother, because I'm talking facts. You don't even try to dispute what I say. You can't dispute what I say. I'm talking facts. I'm talking facts. You can't dispute what I'm saying. D. Willer, if Shakur just signed the contract, the fight been happen. See? So there you go. You're being a fanager. I don't have to keep reading no more of that paragraph because you're being a fanager. If Shakur signed the contract, he got purse bid as an option. You see, so you being a manager, you're being a bad manager to Shakur because he got real boxing managers that are saying, no, let's go this route. Let's go this route. That's what's convenient for us. So taking into account that you're not in boxing, that you're not in that negotiations, you being a Shakur hater / manager. Look what your whole argument hinges on what you think Shakur should have did. Come on now. What you think Shakur should have did is irrelevant, buddy. Come on, bro. What you think Shakur should have done is irrelevant, buddy. That's why you can't dispute me because I'm talking about the facts. I'm not telling you what he thinks. I'm telling you he rejected the offer and went to purse bid. I was like, I'll get you in the purse bid. So we still negotiating. Everything ended when Devin Haney decided not to go to purse bid. And I'm showing you your bias, my brother. You want to focus on Shakur not taking the offer and say Shakur should have signed the offer. But why you don't say Devin Haney should have went to purse bid? Devin Haney should have took the offer at purse bid. Why you not saying that? Why you're only putting it on Shakur when Devin Haney could have made the fight too? So you see the difference between talking about it. That's why you say I'm like a super fan, but I'm pointing out the facts. I'm pointing out the facts, my brother. That's why nothing I say you dispute it. You just start giving your opinion about what you felt Shakur should have did. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Your opinion about what Shakur should have did. You're not a manager. You're not involved in boxing. You're not a promoter. We should go. Our argument's gonna hinge on what you think Shakur should have did. Come on, bro. Come on. I'm Jay Stradamus. You can't hit me with those mental gymnastics. Terrence Crawford. I offered Shakur 75% split. He didn't want to fight me. Stop playing, man. D. Willer. Because Shakur not signing was the first step. Was it not? What do you mean it was the first step? It was no step. They were still in negotiations. It was no step. It was. You're saying Shakur not signing was the first step. What do you mean the first step? You see how you start painting your own narrative into what actually happened? Devin Haney made an offer. Shakur declined the offer because he was already his mandatory. So he said, no, I don't want your offer. We're going to purse split. And Devin Haney reacted to that by saying, oh, shit, we're going to purse split? No, forget it. I don't want to go to purse split. I'm out of here. I'm telling you exactly what happened as it happened. Not your mental gymnastics as what was the first step. There was no first step, family. There was no first step. You're making up a first step to feed your own narrative. You say, I got you got it, OG. I do have it. I'm talking facts, my guy. I'm talking facts. I don't cap. I don't make stuff up out of thin air. I don't use my own opinion. You see, that's the difference. You're drilling your opinion into your argument about what you think Shakur should have did. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you exactly what took place. There's a difference between your opinion and my facts, my brother. That's what makes me Jay Stradamus. That's why I'm Jay Stradamus right there. Because I formulate based on the facts. Based on the facts alone. So I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm telling you what you already know. What we both already know. Shakur Stevenson declined the 25% offer and said, and was already the mandatory, went to purse bid. 3 days before the purse bid, maybe 4, Devin Haney decided to drop out, drop the belt, and leave the whole division. When you tell the whole story, it's very obvious who ducked the fight. You want to rewind it and freeze it in that moment when Shakur Stevenson didn't take the 25% and make an entire argument about how you felt that he should have took the 25%. But the story doesn't end there. When we tell the whole story, we know it was Devin Haney that ducked. There's no getting around it, my guy. Cooking with Caesar. Devin has shown he's so good for dropping a belt and running out when he can't get the money he wants. Shaking my head. No, and look, I'm going to tell you something. Honestly, I believe that Shakur Stevenson is the only person that Devin Haney really ducked. That's the only person. I believe that Devin Haney, look at his resume. I believe that Devin Haney, he'll fight anybody and everybody. He's been trying to fight Tank Davis. And he was trying to fight Shakur Stevenson. He was trying to fight Teofimo Lopez as well. So it's just that Shakur is the real boogeyman. And people don't want to accept it. Like, I'll give you an example. All these guys, you seen them going at each other on Twitter. You seen Teofimo Lopez calling out Tank Davis. You seen Shakur calling out Tank Davis. Devin Haney called out Tank Davis. You seen it. And you seen Tank Davis go back and forth with some of them on Twitter also. I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to beat your ass. But I always ask people, and they look and never find it. Find me one of the best fighters, just one, who has a video saying, yo, I want to fight Shakur. Me and him going to get it. Find me just one, my peoples. So you see, nobody want to fight Shakur. Nobody wants to fight him, my people. That's been the case. The same situation, and I got a video talking about that. The same thing that happened with Terrence Crawford at 147, that nobody wanted him. That's the same thing going on now. That's what's going on now. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, can you read my last post, please? Where is it? The reason why I'm asking about the May 4th fights is I'm talking to Cousin, get tickets for fight. I want to see if we can make it happen. I want to buy you a ticket. Oh, shit, man, I would appreciate it. So I cannot make it because, as you know, right now I'm living in the Dominican Republic. And, you know, I can't just go to the U.S., go watch a fight and come right back. But one day we'll make that a possibility, my brother. Just, this would be too soon for me. But I appreciate it, my brother. Much love. You see what I'm saying, my peoples? One day, yo, people that are subscribed on Box Center, we're going to meet up at fights and we're going to watch fights together, argue, have a beer, all that. That's going to happen. Arch 30, facts over fiction. That's what I'm about, my brother. Rather than debate my opinion, what I think should happen, I just talk about the facts. I lay the facts out. Look, these are the facts. This is what actually happened. Not my opinion of what I think should have happened or what I think this person should have did. This is what happened. Superman. That fight little guy so far. I mean, is that he was tall for the 135 division. So most of the guys there is going to be shorter than him. He'll fight. Now that he's going to be going to 147, he's going to fight guys where he's going to be the shorter guy in the ring. Sammy Chiba. I was going to say, the trees outside too green for the U.S. right now. Yeah. These right here, look. But you got to remember, there's no winter time over here. Summertime all year round. So, yeah, that weather's good right now. But my peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. And I appreciate everybody sharing your opinion with me. Superman, salute. James Paley, salute. Arch 30, Cooking with Caesar. D. Willer. Yo, my peoples, I really appreciate y'all, man. Terrence Crawford, William Allen, JJ Zendejas, Underrated Will, Pat Nation. My peoples, y'all already know what it is, man. Tonight, at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to hook up. We're going to talk boxing. If y'all want to hit that like button, if there's anybody who hasn't hit that like button, you got like 30 seconds to hit it. Don't play with me. But yeah, my peoples, Superman, Smith, keep up the good work. Appreciate it, my brother. Superman, I see you doing your running. Hell yeah, my brother. I'll keep it going. I'll keep it going. I'll be running tonight. But my peoples, y'all already know what it is, man. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to talk boxing. We're going to do what we do. Hit that like and share my videos. Go check out the videos. Some new ones are up. Fire. My peoples, I'm out of here. Jay Smith, this is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Peace.